it's used for a calculation. And then the another one that which we have seen yesterday is the declare constraint. So for, the declare constraint it's a client-side validation that which we have seen yesterday, and this is for multiple properties, all right? So like, for example, if you go here, take a model for decision and constraint. Okay, so here we go. So now these for multiple properties. So here, like, for gender, for example, here I'm validating two properties at a time. Like, if the gender is equals to male and age is less than 21, then I should throw this error message to the user. Okay, and this validation gets executed whenever the user change, they change the properties, whenever the user change gender or age, any any one of these properties. And again, this declare constraint will get called and just evaluate this decision, evaluate these conditions basically. Okay, and then as part of a declare expression, what we have seen is, when we were calculating, the age. All right, so now let's say loan process, and then this is the age that we have calculated. So now, like all that things, so automatically the age will get calculated based on whatever the date of birth which you enter. And then if you continue, then also we have seen that we can just add the total inside the table as well. Like, let's say for each table, like, which you want to do it, like, let's say per month EMI that I'm paying 3,000 rupees, and then automatically a per year calculation will happen automatically. Okay, and the similar way, let's say I'm paying one more, like 6,000 rupees per EMI, I'm paying one more for the educational loan, and one is a personal loan, like that. So then let's say we want to display, as a total of like 72 plus 72,000 plus 36 as a total of a total here, then that also that we can do that, so simply what we can do that. So that's best approach. So again, like when I'm doing a revision of this, because this is declare expression is a bit of an interesting one. So here, so we have, let's say, so I guess I've created one property for that. Yeah, total EMI amount. Okay, so let's say it's a defined expression, and then that's it. If you just go here, okay, and then this is the sum of, right? It's the sum of, like, what is the sum of all these numbers, right? I mean, whatever that user enters here. So that is like, so here, like, it just says value of, and then here we have a function which is called as, there is one function which is called as a sum, so it's included. And then okay, then just type the property as loan details. And and this is actually the this is actually the page list property. Just give that parenthesis, okay, and then just say EMI and the property name EMI per year, like if that's a property name that you have it, and that's it. And then submit this, and I'll save it. That's it. It got saved. And now what will happen is, now if I'll try to apply for a loan, if I'll continue, and then if I'll enter some amount here, so let's say EMI, so you can see here, or now it's 0.0. So now let's say 3,000 rupees I'm paying per month, so it got calculated as 36,000 rupees. And then here again I'm paying, let's say, 8,000 rupees as a EMI for another loan, and then that is 96,000 per year, and 96 plus 36, it's 1,32,000, like that. So and same functionality that we can build it for, let's say, shopping cart. Shopping cart means, let's say, that the items that these are the items that you're buying it. For example, let's say that it's a normal groceries that you're buying it, or some normal items that you're buying it, like, let's say I want to buy bottle, then a water bottle, then quantity is, let's say, 2, and one bottle costs, like, 50 rupees, the total will be 100. And then after that, I want to buy some, a few, like, anything, like, all that stuff, like, whatever the quantity that I wanted to buy it. Let's say I want to buy a headphone, and I just want to buy a headphone for my me, and for my my family members. So I want to buy 2-3 headphones, so total cost, and then whatever the water bottle and headphone cost, whatever the total will be, this, like, this much I have to pay total amount, when in like that. So That is, something that we can see that. And this one, like, you can just, this one we can just modify it to, like, because if we just only show this number, it doesn't make any sense, right, to the user. So what we'll do is, we'll just change this to inline. So we'll see, okay, how inline works. And then here, okay, and then we will add one label over here. And then just set the as, yeah, total. This colon, sorry. Okay, and that's it. Submit this and I'll save the section. Okay. And now if I go back and now if I'll come forward and now, okay, so now I can see that, like, of course, like we can just make some alignments and all the stuff. I mean, so now this, like, what is the total amount and all the stuff. And this alignment is coming up and down because in this property, I am saying that, okay, this is just a property, and but I have not given any label here. But if I have to say to the Pega that, do I have to reserve the space for the label? And that is the reason. So you can see that, on the top, the label will be there. And here the label is not there. I've given the empty label. So that is the reason, the checkbox is checked. So label is there. So that is the reason the above space is for the label. So now if I'll say, no, I don't want this, reserve any space for the label. That's it. Submit this and save it. And now go back and this, why I'm going back and front because it will get refreshed. And now you can see that, you'll get that, your total loan amount. EMI is like, this, that, whatever, like that. And again, let's say if we don't want this dot and all these things, like we have a function, right, at round. So again, you can just add this RULT, just say this and just put that. So you'll not get that, 0.0 and all those things. So it will give you the round figure, basically. Okay, so okay, so now, okay, let's say if I'll put 2,000 rupees now. Okay, so now you can see that the point zero has gone. Okay, so now these are the few things that we have learned till now. And then okay, and also in the yesterday session we have talked about work groups, right? So so why should we create a work group and all the stuff? So yesterday what have we done is we have created three work groups for all the loan types. Okay, so now if you want to see that, okay, where that work group that we have created, go to the records. You won't be able to see that in the class. Okay, so those are data instances, basically. Okay, I'll end with one of the separate topic, I'll cover that. Okay, so now go to the records and then open the organization category. In the organization category, you can be able to see the work group. And then here you go. So these are the three work groups that we have created yesterday, right? Home loan team, personal loan team, and the education loan team. And then how will the Pega will know, okay, like, who are the user belongs to, like, which user is belongs to this one. So that we define it in the operator ID. So if we open the operator ID, then if you go here in the work tab, so here I'm saying that, okay, I belongs to this team, basically like whatever the loan comes for education loan, like, and route the task to me and I'll handle it and I'll see it whether basically that particular person is can take loan or not. Okay, and then similarly what I'll do is, like, I'll create one more operator ID as save as, and I'll say education one or e-loan, best is, yeah, e-loan, and that's it. Okay, I'll say create and open, and that's it. Okay, I just change the name as educational loan person. That's it. And then, okay, so now what I've done is I have created a work group as education loan, and now we are the two members, Pankaj, and I've created one more operator ID as EE loan, like, one person as this. Okay, so now what will happen? Okay, so now, I mean, if you want, then we can just create one more as, let's say educational loan. Okay, or let's say like, our, okay, e-loan one. Okay, so there are three people, like, e-loan one. So okay, there are three person, like, we are the three person, like, who belongs to this work group, like, so now how can, like, so now this is a case type. Right. So, and this is the approval, and this is the assignment, like, which we are routing it. So till now, what we have seen is like, how can we route it to either to operator, I mean, whether to a reporting manager or, and in the, by default, like, the Pega has given some approve reject shape, right? So there also, like, how can we do reporting structure and authority metrics? And here in the assignment shape also, basically, like, we can give the operator, and then, we can just say work queue custom and, like that. So in the work queue, or else, we can just tie directly around to a work list or a work queue and all the stuff. So now basically how to do it to a work group. So now for that, basically what you have to do is you go to the custom, okay, and the custom, and now, okay, and this is like, just say work list only. Okay, I mean, because I want to directly, route the assignment to any one of these person, like Pankaj, education loan, or this guy. So here, so now there is one router is there, right? So instead of two work lists, just say two work group. Here we go. Okay, to work group, and then just define the work group name. So work group name is this. That's it. Just submit that and save it. So now, okay, so now let's see, like, what happens. Okay, so now let me create a loan process. Okay, okay, yeah, let's say loan process, and where is the loan? Okay, in the next screen we are deciding. Okay, so here let's say I'm saying education loan, and then some dummy amount, and okay, so now it went to whom? Like, it went to, like, another education loan person. I mean, you can see that this work has been routed to another, like, another one person, like, right? So, and then, and let me create one more uh, loan process. Okay, so now this time it has routed to me. Okay, I mean, because I also belongs to that, right? And now it has, let's say, I'll do one more. Okay, so now again it has routed to another education loan person. So now you can see that, like, this one, this task L-1707. So okay, so this, now that, I mean, for this person there are two tasks, I mean, that he has to work into, and one task has been routed to me, and zero task. I'm still, like, there are zero tasks, assigned to him. So now, like, I mean, if you are okay, like, okay with this kind of functionality, I mean, your business is okay with this kind of functionality, then it's fine. But sometimes the business will say that, no, I mean, I don't want this randomly to pick any of the operator. I mean, I don't want that. Basically, what I want is my functionality, like, okay, education loan people, there are three people who are working for working for these things, right? I mean, like that. So I don't want that. So basically, it should be, the work should be divided in the level manner. I mean, for example, Pankaj, like, okay, one work has been assigned to him, and the second work should assign it to, let's say, this, and then the third work should assign to him. I mean, now you can see that already. I mean. already that this guy has one task, but already like the second time also the Pega has assigned the task to him only instead of them, instead of like this guy. So that that shouldn't happen. So for that, basically we have what we have to do is we have to go to our flow, and then instead of two work group, you can say that we have one more routing activity as a two leveled group. Here we go. And two level group, we can see that skills also get added. So basically, like this activity is useful when, let's say, like you not only that you want to level, like equally that you want to divide the work among your team members, but also based on the skills. For example, in educational loan also, let's say there are many skills. For example, for example. For example, French, like, or English or Hindi, like something like that. I mean, let's say like there is a person, like who has applied for a loan, and he doesn't know English, and he has applied the loan in Hindi. So and these two people don't know Hindi, or how to write or not to read in Hindi. But I'm the one, like who can read, understand everything, Hindi and all this stuff. So though I am from educational loan department, but I can read and write English. So that I can just we can just make specify. And yesterday also I've shown you, right? I mean, how that we can do that. So skill, we can go and skill, and not only we can add that work group, and also we can add, okay, I can speak, let's say, only English, and English is like, he's very fluent in, let's say, English, and then the English his rating is, let's say, 10, like that. So we can just save that. So now let's see what happens. Now that I have okay, submitted it. Now I'm not giving any skills and all the stuff. I'm just giving work group. Okay, and submit this. I'll save it. And now let's see. So now the count is let's I got one task, and this guy has zero task, and the third person has two tasks. So now let's see whom the next task will get routed to. So again, applying for a loan. Okay, so now you can see that now this time it has went to that second person, like education loan person. So now the count is one. Okay. So now the count is like me, I am having one task, and this guy having one task, and this guy already has two tasks, right? I mean the last process that we have done it. And let's see, let's run one more time, and let's see continue, and this one, and continue. Okay, and again this has that this has given the task to this education loan person, and then now this guy has two, and I'm having one. So then, okay, and okay, I'll just cancel it, otherwise the Pega will think that I'm working on it. Okay, I'll just cancel it. So then the loan process again. Okay, so again it has went to this person, like it has like it went to third person. Okay, so and then again if you just do that, so basically like it will just equally try to see it, like equally try to divide, like divide the work among these people. And then also there is one more thing, like so it will route people to only those, like who's when you are saying that you're able to receive work. For example, now I'll say that, okay, now I'll say that for this operator, I'm saying that, okay, this guy, like is not available from this. I'll save it, and this guy is also not available. Let's say both of them has left the company, so there is no point, right? I mean, now for routing the task to him. So that Pega will route the task only when, or assignment only when you say that, okay, this operator is available to receive the work. So if you don't check this, that the Pega will not even route the task to you. So now let's say if I'll create, so now for both these operators, I have unchecked this box. So now from now on, like if I'll create leave process, sorry, loan process, and now continue it. So it has routed the task to me. And now again, whenever, like whatever that how many times, like I'll create, like let's say if okay, so you can see that again, like this task has been routed to me. Okay, so now let's say I am also not available. Like, I'll say that, okay, I didn't leave the company, but let's say I'm available for, I'm on leave, from this date to this date. Let's say I'm on leave from 1st March to, let's say, this entire weekend. Let's say from 5th, no, 5th of March, I'm on leave. So now the case is like, uh, now the case is I'm on leave, okay, which we have updated in the operator ID, and these are like, these people, left the department or left the company, okay, and this guy also left the company or a leave, okay. So now, and then and for but for this department we are the only three people, right? So now can anyone guess what will happen to whom this to whom like the Pega will route the task? Okay, okay. So any other guesses? I mean, to whom it will route? Because I am saying that, I'm not available. So and these two. Okay, okay, let's see. So yeah, and it has routed to director. And who is the director? I mean, director means like, if I'll open the work group, okay, and who is the director here? I mean, he's a manager of a work group. So basically what happens is, let's say like, the Pega is not able to find, let's say if the Pega is not able to find any of the operator because of some reason, like someone is on leave, someone like, let's say, left the organization, like, that checkbox is not checked, like, there can be many reasons. Then what the Pega will do is, if the Pega is not able to find any of the operator, or maybe skills, like, maybe like, that educational loan is on some Telugu, but three of us don't have that Telugu skills. So again, that is also that problem, right? The Pega, even though we three of are available, but we don't have the Telugu skills. Like we can't read Telugu, not understand, or not read and write anything. So in that case, basically, if the Pega is not able to find the correct person, so in that case, the Pega will see it. Okay, who is the manager of this work group? So he's the manager. I mean, but now I have given a director, but it can be a real time. It can be some name, right? I mean, Shweta, Aarti, Vidya, anyone, so it can be that. So that the task, will be routed to that person whom that, we specify that he is a manager, like that. So now, whenever we create any loan process, so Pega will see first. Pega will see, okay, who are the operators who are working under that work group. So if then Pega will list it down. I mean, then after listing down, Pega will say, okay, are they available to receive the work? If the answer is no, then the Pega will see, okay, like, okay, like, none of the operator or none of the person or people, like, is available to receive the work. So now let's route the task to, like, okay, who is the manager? Who director is the manager? So let's route the task to this guy, the manager of this, work group, like that. So now next time also, let's say if I'll, let's say if I'll open the, create the loan process, and if I'll continue it, and now it will again go to the director. And now let's say again I'm back. Let's say this guy, like, again, this operator ID, this loan, this person is saying, okay, no, I'm back. Like, I mean, let's say because of the workload, like, I mean, this guy, we have shift, I mean, we have sent this guy to, some different department. And again, like, manager will say, okay, we have a lot of work in this department, so now, like, we want some person. Then again, this person will come back, and then we'll say, okay, now he's able to receive the work, and we'll save it. And now, from now on, like, whatever the work that will create, so sorry, whatever the loan applications will come, I mean, that like, instead of going to the manager, that will go to that, particular person, that, this guy. And then again, if I'll say that, okay, now I am also back from the leave, then again, like, after, from my operator ID, like, from my operator ID, like, after, like, from Monday onwards, or like, or let's say I say that, okay, now I cancel my leaves. I'll go and leave from, tomorrow onwards, not from, sorry, I'll go on leave from, from tomorrow onwards, not from this, like that. So and then also we can have one more option, like, when unavailable. So let's say, like, substitute like operator, like, for example, let's say I'm not available, then I can just, like, I can give some operator also, like, I mean, whom that I want to assign it to, like, I can say that, okay, when I'm not available, reach out the task to this guy, like that. Or like, if you want, then based on the decision tree also, we can determine that, what, like, okay, if it's if it's a educational loan, or this, that, whatever that is. So so is it clear, like, when will it go to a manager, and when will it go to a particular operator that, who are working under that work group? Yeah. Okay. So now, like, so now I can, now let's say if I'm creating, let's say, loan process, and now let's say I'm selecting home loan, and then I'm submitted it and secreted it, and now I can see that, again, this guy, I mean, this task has been routed to this person, like, this assignment has been routed to this, but he belongs to educational loan, right? I mean, he doesn't belongs to home loan department. So so for that, basically, like, we can configure one more decision shape here. I mean, we can have, let's say, three assignment shapes here. Let's say, like, so as soon as, let's say, as soon as this flow starts, we can have one decision shape, and inside of one decision shape, like, we can just check that, okay, if it's an educational loan, then, we'll go here, and then if it's a if it's if it's a home loan, then it will go here, and then if it's if it's a personal loan, then it will go here. So either we can do like this, like, so like, like that. But the drawback of this is, like, in future, let's say, because the bank is not restricted to only three loans, right? I mean, they can have many loans: gold loan, car loan, then, XYZ loan. No, there are many loans, right, these days. So now, uh, so so in that case, basically, like, so in that case, basically, like, I mean, so we cannot add one more, like, one assignment shapes like that, right? So and for these things, like, not all that stuff. So well, practically we can do that. I mean, but like, let's say I have these many loans. Let's say I have 10 types of loan the bank is providing, and for all these things, like, I'm just doing, keep on adding this assignment shapes, like, like that. So it's not only, like, so it's possible, and Pega will not even throw any error. It will work properly. But the only problem is, you can see that, like, it's too hard to maintain. Right? I mean, we should find out, like, in such a situation where in which, and also, like, you should also make sure that your flow shapes should not exceed to 20 shapes. Like, and now that we have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So already 13 shapes are done. So because what happens is, because the confusion, like, it creates a confusion, it will be hard to maintain, like, which, like, which connector is going where, and where which connector is connecting to this, it's unnecessary, it will cause any confusion and all the stuff. So instead of this, basically what we can do is, so now let me refresh it. So instead of this, what we can do is already we have this assignment shape, right? So in this one, so we can basically, create one more routing activity. So already there is a two-level group is the one, right? So now if I'll open it, and then now what I'll do is I'll just save as this uh, uh, to, like that, and then to our user, and then here we can just give that, like, a proper, like, here we can just like, give the condition saying that, okay, if it's, let's say, if that loan type is equals to, like, if the loan type is equals to, let's say, educational loan, then jump to this activity, or call that work group. If it's a loan, if the car loan, then, go to the car loan work group, like that, so that we can we can do that. So basically this activity, so I'm not going deeper into that, because, like, this activity, basically, like, we will be discussing, in a very deeper, like, it's a very, again, very important topic, what activity is. So already that, I've given 2 dedicated days, only to discuss about these activities, and just to see what these methods are, like, all that stuff. So like, we can do like that. So that is the possible way that, to do that. I mean, or the best way to do that, so that like, you don't have to create. I mean, for now, I've just given the high level idea, like, because that is a practical stuff, right? Because now if I'll hard code this work group name, so what will happen is, like, what will happen is, like, I mean, it will take that only, only that, I mean, it will take that only. Or else the another possibility that we can have is, we can have the parameters. I mean, for example, I can, on this connector, I mean, I can call one data transform, and then set uh, work group name. So in Pega, like, for doing one thing, there are many ways to do that. And then that basically, then the best approach, you have to decide, like, by thinking of all the scenarios, like, which will impact the performance, and all the stuff. So by looking into all those things like performance, maintainability, and all, like, code wise, it should not be tough. Like, it should be easy, like, everything, and you should not update many rules and all those things, like, like, you should be, if you're able to justify it, like, then do that. So then what we can do is we can just say, okay, if it's a when, and then when, let's say, the loan type, right? Okay, so if the loan type is education loan, so I'm just setting one param dot. So let's say I don't want to create unnecessarily one property, so we can use some parameters. Okay, param dot work group name is equals to educational loan. So I'll just copy it. Sorry, loan type is equals to education loan. Okay, and on the similar note, like, let's say if the when and then the loan type is equals to home loan, and then so parameter name, I'm setting it as a home loan T. I guess that is the workgroup name. So let me just verify it once. Yes. Okay. So for now, I'm adding only. So for now, I'm adding only these two. But like, I mean, I've already covered, like, now already we know it. Okay, what data transform is. Okay. So now this is another place from where you can call a data transform. Okay, so from the connector of this flow, from connector here, right? So now I'm calling it, like, double click on it and apply data transform. So now what will happen, like, once this, after the start shape, before coming to this assignment, like, the pega by default, like, we are just setting this parameter value, and inside that parameter value, like, we'll just set the proper work group name. So and then if you go to the flow, so instead of hard coding inside the 7 shape, instead of hard coding this work group name, we can just say that this, param dot wg name. That's it. So now it will go to that, only that particular person. Like, for example, now it will, now let's say I'm applying for home loan, and now, Okay, so I can see that like home loan, it went to the senior manager. I mean, because we haven't yet defined any operators that who belongs to the this one, like who belongs to this home loan team. That's the reason like the Pega is not able to find any operator of that work group, and then that's the reason the Pega is saying, okay, who is the manager of it? It's a senior manager, and then you can say that it's a this work like has been routed to the senior manager. And in the similar way, let's say if there is a person uh, who is applying for, let's say, our education loan, then the education loan, let's say this, and then type go here, and now you can see that, I mean, this is education loan person, it routed to education loan person. So this way, basically, you can make it dynamically, like, you can route the, task to for someone, and this way, basically, you can think of, how to make it dynamic. So basically, the one thing that you can make is, I mean, I've just done this parameter. So the parameter, like, I've not created any property. So I could have created a property also for this, but unnecessarily that property means it's a rule, right? Unnecessarily, I don't want to create a property because my job is done, with this dummy, like, parameter only. So just after this parameter only, like, I'm just passing that, and this parameter I'm setting another this connector, and then Pega will call this is assignment shape, and assignment shape, the Pega will say, okay, what is the value here? And then the Pega will, take that value as a work group name, and the Pega will call this activity, and whomever person best suits for the role based on skills and all the stuff. So it will route the task to that particular person. No. I've not created any router till now. I mean, what I've done is like, so already these out of the box router activities, basically the Pega has provided two work list, two work queue, two work group.